Okay, welcome to Hopeifiers. I'm Alan Friesen. With me is Daniel Zapula. We're here to hopefully inspire you, have a fun conversation with you. If you decide you want to be part of the conversation, give us a call. Our number's showing up there, and then we'll include you in the conversation as well. How are you doing, Brother Daniel?
Well, you should be asking our brothers and sisters who are joining us what they're doing. Why are you asking me?
Man, you got to give me some notes so I know how to do this right. To our listeners, how are you doing? If
Thank you.
if you
Hey,
if
guys.
you wish to call us, tell us
That's
how
right.
you're doing.
Now you're talking.
Now
you
you're
see,
good.
all our brothers and sisters who are joining us from anywhere and nowhere, we are so glad. Every alien that is joining us, welcome. This is Brother Alan. If aliens are revolting against Earth, go after Alan because his name is closer to alien. Me, I'm a Bushman, so leave me alone. All I'm trying to say is, guys, we are happy to have you all in the house. And
Exactly.
This is a time for us to have a great, healthy conversation. It's not about a show. It's not about anything. It's about us being present together. Once a week, we gather here, and Alan suffer me for just 20 to 30 minutes. So I just think, and everybody else suffer me along. And I just want to say thank you for being with us and watching this.
Exactly. And also, Daniel, where are we broadcasting from? The ancestral lands of the Blackfoot Nation. Those are the folks that lived here before we got here, right? So that's where we are from in Lethbridge, Alberta, from the ancestral homes of the Blackfoot people. And tonight, I think we want to talk about the importance of connection. What do you think of that, Daniel? Is that a good topic, the importance of connection?
Well, I think most people understand that there is something about connections and connecting that make us more like ourselves. And that the more disconnected we are, the less we are present in the world. I think every sickness in the world, and I'm saying this, every sickness in the world is a deprivation of connection. And that connection is with each other, with self, and with the maker. And I think if people could actually begin thinking about what connection and internet connection really mean, I think it will change their life forever.
I think so too. I'm with you 100%. Go ahead. Oh, you were done.
You
Go ahead.
because I know I'm going to say more. Just go ahead.
I just want to jump in with
you get to forget, so I want you to talk first.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to be so kind to me in my advanced years. So I wanted to say that when you talk about the medical part and disease, there's this doctor, his name's Dr. Zach Bush. And I was watching him once and he was talking about cancer. And he said that cancer is basically a disease of disconnection because in a normal environment, you have a cell that gets damaged. That cell will just allow itself to die. A new stem cell issues a new cell and away you go. Life carries on. But with cancer, this cell, the cell that gets damaged, has lost its connection to the rest of the body. It thinks it's by itself. So it doesn't see the value in ending so that that stem cell can replace to keep the host in good shape, to keep the human in good order. So then it just keeps on dividing and dividing and dividing, reproducing even though it's damaged, and that's basically cancer. So he says it's a disconnection from those cells, not realizing they're part of this bigger whole.
You know, in many ways, I can understand at a micro level when we talk about cancer. Cancer, I hate cancer. I don't like cancer. Cancer and me were never friends.
I can understand that.
But here's one of the thing, and I know like it's a killer, but only I know that there's redemption at the end. But that's a very good point to just talk about it. That cancer is a depletion of connection at the micro cell level, and that's very important. And it tells us so what is in the macro level sometimes tend to manifest in the macro level as well. You know, there is a TED talk about addiction. It talk about when you have somebody who is having a major addiction in their lives, we tend to say and think that our job in their lives is to point out the error, what erroneous ways in them. We tend to believe that our job is to tell them that they need to fix their lives. The problem is we are so good at telling people what is wrong with them, what they need to get fixed, and that we never take time to do the connecting. And the more we are actually motivating and believe we can actually motivate people, which I think you really cannot motivate anybody. You can inspire somebody, but people motivate themselves. What we try to do, we tend to build and lay so much guilt on them. And guilt does not bear a healthy and happy and willing and good fruit. The only thing that really bear fruit that is in keeping with change is conviction. But conviction itself is something that people produce, that people come to it by themselves as they encounter various scenarios in their lives. And it's by revelation, really. So, again, what we forget in our attempt to rid the world of addiction or rid our brothers and sisters and aunt and mom and all those stuff is that we end up creating so much disjunction, so much disconnection, and that disconnection caused much of the ail, the social ail that we witness. And what we do, we end up electing leaders whom we say represent our views, and our view is to lay more guilt and more responsibility on the person who is mentally unwell. While in reality, our job is to how do we create a rapprochement? How do we create more connection? And I'm fed up with government creating more distrust in our community, more because they actually all their policies are feeding disconnection and judgment. Nobody wants to be judged. Nobody wants to be written off. Everybody wants somebody who understands. And that's why the song, Lean on Me When You're Not Strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. You know, when you need a brother and a sister, you can lean on me, you can call on me. And that, I think, when we fail alive, we prostitute ourselves when we let our lives be all about guilt and posturing and and virtuous signaling. I'm fed up with it. And that's why I say the best of us, everybody is a person. Everybody you meet, anybody who is really great is somebody who just recovered from something. You know what? We are all recovering from something.
Mhm.
And that's really what the act of life is. And I really, really, Alan, is something that is so passionate. And that's why I say, how do we build a bridge for folks to connect? First nation, second nation, third nation. And how do we make people feel that they're not second class citizens and that they all belong? Because if you do, if we do that, I believe we can profoundly impact the way people live and we can actually make this world a better place.
I agree entirely. I mean, if you think of connection, if we were all connected, then there would be no judgment, no trying to shame somebody else or blame somebody else. We would have an understanding. And there's, I realize there's some cultural differences that are just too foreign to other things to for other cultures to adopt or to accept. But 99.9% of everything else we align with, right? Globally, like we all want the same things. We all want health. We all want hopefulness. We all want happiness, right? We all want to help others.
And I mean, we all bleed red.
Yes,
Racism is an abortion of connection.
agreed. Yeah,
Racism is a place where we have aborted, we, in a sense, the attempt and the desire to connect and that drive to connect has been aborted.
yes,
And so we begin defining each other by the minor things of our lives. And so we trivialize. We say you have a bigger nose. Your nose is longer. Your eyes are wider. You are bald. You are actually black, or you have too much. And then all of a sudden, we reduce our capacity to be next to each other to the basic animalistic kind of view. And that is what caused much pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I really can't wait for the day. And I think you have good news about a day when brothers and sisters will connect without judgment. You have been dreaming of a day when folks from the East and go for it, Alan.
I had this dream. That's true. That's true. And in this dream, I was able to see every human being in the whole world at the same time. Must have been some special Google Vision picture. And in that picture, saw all the faces of every person in the world, and different colors and different sizes and different shapes and different genders and different beliefs in terms of what they wore, and different like clothes. Some were wearing stuff like Daniel's wearing right now, and different God believed in, but all of them were healthy. They were healthy. That was amazing. Everybody in this picture was all healthy. Everybody was hopeful. You could see it in their eyes that they were hopeful. There was reason that the future would be better, and everybody was helping through their eyes and from their mouth and from their hands. They were trying to be of help to themselves and to others, and I think that was a reason for their hopefulness. I believe humans, that they're healthy, that they're hopeful, and that they're helping. And so that's kind of the vision, that if we can make that kind of connection, oh my goodness, wouldn't life be an amazing place, Daniel?
Wow. In many ways, it's like you see the shirt of multicolor that I wore today. In a sense, is that there's so much culture and so much color that join into one. And I think quite often we dream. And I think in this moment we had just made the dream a reality. And that's where we are. In this environment, there's no judgment. There's no race or tribe.
Mm-hmm.
There's just brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because brotherhood has no boundaries and it has no wall in between the border. Brotherhood is brotherhood. And
that beautifully said, sir.
Yeah, and that's so important. So we need more connections.
Right.
And we elect governments to breed more connections, not disconnections.
Right.
We
Exactly.
elect governments, local, civil, and federal government, to make sure we are connected, to build bridges to connect us all.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I know I can't think of many people who are laying down in their room right now, just alone. And the last time they saw somebody was 3 months ago, 90 days away. And I can say to you, lady, I feel your pain.
Mm-hmm.
I know how hard it is.
Which, speaking of that, Daniel, if we have people listening now and they think of somebody, you have a thought of somebody in your mind, reach out to them, give them a call, shoot them a text, send them an email, send them an Instagram, send out something. If you have a thought of, I just did it today. I had a thought of somebody. I'm not really close to them or anything, but because I had a thought, I thought I'm going to reach out. So I actually have this person's cell number. So I sent him a text. He might not respond, but doesn't matter. I was thinking of him, so I wanted to kind of express, just kind of reach out to him. And I would encourage everybody to do that. These are times when, as Daniel says, there's a lot of people that they haven't seen anybody, like they got nobody in their life that they talk to. So if you have that thought, reach out.
So important that we reach out into each other. You know, I pastor a church, and one of the reasons that I actually created that community was I want to make sure that there is a venue where people connect, and people can connect, and people connect with all their problems, and people can be welcome as they are, and that they never needed to perform.
Oh, but Daniel, you've got, wait a minute, on your church there, you've got restrictions who can join, right? Like you got like color, size, gender things. You got rules about who can be part of your church, don't you?
Yeah. We have rules about who can join. You have to be black, white, green, or yellow.
Okay.
You
Uh-huh.
have to be of any color that can ever be named. You have to belong to the color of a rainbow. You got to be somebody who have problems or no problem at all.
Or no problem.
You got
Okay.
like basically you got to be a normal human being just like me. Look at me. Look at my face. I have a face that only a mother will love. I know a couple of people love me still. I mean, I want there to be a healthy, helpful, hopeful community where people can come and dream and think about the impossible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because when we are connected, there is actually nothing that is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
When we are gathered and when we are together, when we hold hand and we look straight to the future, I tell you, we make gravy out of a future. We make sauce out of a problem that we all encounter. And that is what I'm begging folks who are in the hospital so disconnected right now. I don't know where you are in the hospital. Maybe you just are recovering from something. Maybe you are an alcoholic that's just going through a lots of rough moment. You say, nobody understand you. I know. The world is not an understanding place sometimes. They judge and all those stuff. But I want you to know it's still okay. It's worth it for you to reach out and to connect to a brother. Because people, every human being you can see is a gateway to an opportunity. And the next person you meet may be the right person. So don't judge and do your life based out of a past and saying how difficult it was to connect. Always keep hoping, always keep helpful, always keep hopeful. That's what we call Hopeifier.
Mm-hmm.
You do, you sanctify the milieu and the environment in which you live. You profoundly impact the way people are. And there is always hope. And don't underestimate the power of our connection. Alan,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think?
I think that's beautifully said. And as we talked, it's connection with yourself to keep yourself healthy, connection with others to keep both of you healthy, them and you, right? That exchange is important for us. And connection with others, as you've said, can solve anything, right? If we're
Mm,
connected enough, there isn't a problem in the world that we couldn't solve if we had enough connection to make it happen.
mm. And that in the word connection, there is a word community, communion. One of the things I do in church is that we lift the bread, we break it, and we share it. It is said the same bread that have been gathered, the grain of wheat that was gathered from all four corners of a field is baked into one bread. And that in the same way, we too are one body. We are one people. We are one village, one city, one nation under God. And that as we truly create that space to break bread, and I mean, I think when we do that, there is healing in the land. Our land is healed from the rough memory of it. And we can redeem each other's shortcoming. And that means this so the breaking of bread can manifest many ways. The altar that I invite people to is in the street. I mean, connect to your community. Like reach out, volunteer with somebody. Go and become a big brother or a big sister to somebody. That's connecting. That's connecting. But you don't tell me, say, Daniel, you don't understand. I never received the very thing you want me to give. But you know what? Here's the thing. You can give it. That's why I'm asking you. You say, but my mom and dad never loved me rightly. I say, I know. That's why I'm asking you to give. Because it's innate in you. It is something that you can do. That wisdom that is latent, that power is within you. Just go do it. We're here on this connection, this event, this platform. We don't know much about things. We don't know much about connection, about the internet. We're just here anyways. We're just saying, let's just volunteer. Let's just give this moment and let's just share and let's see what grows out of it. And I think that's what it is about grace that is greater than all our sins, all our shortcoming. Be not afraid to be yourself.
Mm.
I'm speaking here. I don't know how long I have. I hope I get to live 100 years. I don't know. That would be too long for me. But whatever it is, someday somebody's going to listen to this and say, Daniel Zupula is dead. You know, my wife just told me about one of the psych doctor who just died. She had been serving at the psych ward. There's my friend. So she had been serving and she died. He died of COVID. I wish he had vaccine so that he can actually die. I don't know, but he died, and I cried because he was a brother from the Bahama. He was a great him and his family, great people. But I'm so glad I got to connect with him. And then when I look at his story and what the nurses are telling, there's a brother who knew how to connect. If you want to leave an impact in the world, you gotta low down, tone down the level of anxiety around you, and connect with people. Just be there, be normal. Don't worry about how you're gonna say what you're gonna say. Just be present.
Hmm.
We are. We make the world a better place. That's what I think, anyways. And
So,
and I'm gonna die with that. And it will make me no better or worse. I just know until I die. That's it. That's why when I created an organization with my brothers and sisters called Bridges of Hope International, our motto is we are all connected. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking lot more. I'll be interviewing more people as we talk about some of the challenges. Like I was talking to you about some of the challenges we have in terms of it. But it's quite important to be able to do that. But I have my friend, my brother here, and so it's just good to collect. Right now, I'm not by myself. I'm here because my brothers and sisters. They give me a glass of water to drink, some juice to drink, some whatever, coffee or wine. It doesn't matter, but we sit here and facing this camera. I am here because of others. I'm here because of other people who died for me. I'm here because of missionaries who reach out. Now, you get me close to tears because I know the pain it was. But the pain of a missionary is one thing, but the pain of my parents, they did the very best they could, and they try. Any parent will try the best, but the very best they could offer was not enough. And thank God for those people who sought to connect. And that's why I just want to say people do not forget those who are living in the far west place of the world and reach out to them. So, Alan, tell us what's your experience with connecting with people who are so far and strangers in your world?
well, it's quite interesting because as I reach out, actually, I'm part of Rotary, so
Mm.
I meet quite a few people, Rotarians from all over the world.
Yeah.
But not that long ago, if you'll recall, we had a great chat with that Dr. Akwar Halonga, and he's from Africa, and he made those nano filters, and
Mm.
he's getting them all installed across Africa to bring safe drinking water to people across Africa. And he says he's going to be, so that's reaching out, talk to a man. I never met him before, sent him an email, got on and had a nice video chat with him a couple times. Brilliant man. And he says he's going to be a billionaire, not in dollars, which he probably will anyways, but in how many people he can help, that he's going to help a billion people. He's going to connect a billion people to clean water. And that's so exciting for me, so inspiring for me that somebody has this dream to be so to make such a difference in people's lives. It's very inspiring for me.
Mm. You see, one of the things I like people like that, they're a difference maker. What I actually want to see is to see those things, those desires replicated in a thousand of cases. I'm just a mini version of that. We have a little orphanage somewhere in a very far corner of a remote country called Burkina Faso. Very few people know it. It's a French colony, and I can tell you, and those people are really great, high working people, but they have problems and difficulties, social problems. And part of the whole thing is a bunch of us say we can make a difference. And one of the things we have been doing lately is just let create a chicken farm, let create a pig farm, and let's begin seeing how can we make that system sufficient. We can create a community in which we can put 100 pig, and let's see if with 100 pig we can actually use it to reach out to all the orphans. A pig could be 300 bucks, but it's a pregnant pig, so there's 10 pig actually. So
Mm-hmm.
here's a question to you: if I ask people, Alan, say, how many pig can you help ask me with? Can you help me with? Especially not before, not When COVID is over, I want people to help me when they have a problem, not when the problem is over. How many pick can you help me with? 2, 3, or 4, 10? How much? And it's that simple. So for me, that's really the moral eloquence, is really nothing but really connecting with other, connecting with else, and giving somebody else capacity to actually become the best version of himself. When we do, I actually truly believe it helps us. Some people have self-image problem. It's because it's all about you. All your money is all about you. One of the things I like about church is they give 10% of what you have to the church. Well, most people say, I don't want to do that. But here's the point. The point is that you are no longer in control. Somebody, a community is in control. No, when you give to a community, you help through a pig, buy a pig, you're no longer in control. Other people get to do it. You say, well, but I want them to operate the way I want. And I say, don't do that. Let go. That's connection. I am here because somebody connected. They didn't have the people who donated to them to be missionaries. No, they didn't have all the answers. But that missionary, maybe they only reach out to one. Maybe that's me. But I reach out to at least one other person. That's what I mean about the power of connection. We all need to remember that. I know we only have 4 minutes left, but I just want to hone in how important it is to volunteer in your community. Street life is here. People say, oh, but we have problem. We don't know if we like their leader. Who cares? Who told you need to like your leader to help? It's about, you got to think. I thank God for Ken and Julie. They reach out to our community. We got to help them. It's immoral if we don't. We have an organization called Youth One. Jordan Schellenberg, it's a young man, like young leader, just reaching out, just beating, like him and a bunch of them, a couple of them, 3 of them started this organization. And Jordan have been beaten day in, day out. That kid, I've seen him sweat and bleed. Now, you know what? He's trying his very best. But people have all reason why this thing should fail. I have many reasons why this thing should succeed. Go help the guy. Help a kid. This is our children, our kid. Like, reach out, volunteer. If you haven't done something for our youth, there's something wrong with you. Go see a therapist or give me a phone call. You got to write a damn check and help our young people. Because when you do that, you are giving it to yourself. It's immoral, it's wrong to actually not do that. Don't go into me, oh, I don't know, I don't like the philosophy. Nobody give a darn about philosophy. The children out of school who have no food, they don't care. When their mom and dad don't have, and you Alan, you're getting me way too excited. You're getting me way too engaged with this reality. And I just want to say, it's our responsibility to reach out to the young people in our community, to reach out to offer the very best we can. And we need to be less judgmental of our young people who are reaching out to young people. We need to be less judgmental about the people who are offering the very best to make our community a better place. You know what? There may not be politicians, there may not be mayor, but I tell you, the contribution that people like Jordan and other people are doing, I think they are mayor, like they should be called his worship. That is what I want to see. And by the way, having said that, I want to see people like you, business people, real estate agents, folks who have been laboring day in and day out. Those are giants, and we need to support each other. We need to actually be present. We need to support the well-being of each other. We need to connect with them and say, Alan, how can we do business together? Maybe your price that you're offering may be too much, but I'll say, Alan, thank you because you tried. I may be with somebody, but that's what I'm trying to say about. When we do that, we connect with our business brothers and sisters. We help each other be and become. We make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is, the more I talk about it, the more I want to shout, I want to scream, I want to do something. But if I do that, people will not show up in church anymore.
Well, here's what I'm hearing you telling me. You're telling me that if you're doing okay in these COVID times, if you have it in you to give, if you got enough yourself, like you got food and you got health and you got love and you got a home and you got the utilities, you got everything looked after that way. If you have something to give, there's some agencies that could really use your help. Youth One was one that Daniel was talking about. Great agency. They do amazing work. They're champions for children. Then there's, of course, there's the Streets Alive, the Kissicks, where they do such amazing to make sure that people get fed.
Beautiful family. Yeah.
Yeah, and certainly to financially support them. Or the other, Daniel, you mentioned in your hometown, in your home country, where you're trying to get the pig farm and the chicken farm happening, and some resources to make that happen.
I don't need that much. All I am asking is $30,000 right now for pigs. I'm not asking for that much. It's very easy. I know one person can write a check for it, but all I'm trying to say is very important that they do that. And not only that, I'm also saying support local business, like Alan. Now here you are, brother Alan. You're trying. You're doing great. I know. Thank God, you and your wife have done very, very well. You're doing the very best. That's great. Support local, consume local, local creativity, local business. We need to reach out. And I just think in the days of Walmarts, in the days of the Costco's, and thank God for Costco's and Walmart, we shop and eat and consume. I'm a member of them. So that's important. In the days of Amazon's, and I love Amazon, and I can order lots of things. Our tendency is to turn our back against the local for the global. Maybe it's a glocal. It's us learning to embrace both. But I'm saying between here and September, anybody who hear me, I challenge you, buy local. Help our local people.
Good.
And I'm begging you, connect. That's important.
You bet. Because those folks that you're supporting locally, those are the ones that are the people that we're crossing on the street and saying hello to. Those are the people that are the hockey coaches, and those are the people that are going to their churches or to their agencies and helping out. So really, if you help them, you help the community in large as well. You help their family, but you help and that company, but the community as well. So
that's so important. I don't have the best and biggest church in the world. I'm not the best and biggest orator. You know, people can just connect elsewhere. But I so appreciate it when people come, and I know I'm not the best and of all people, the best church, the best, all those stuff. But it sure feels so good. It makes me feel so grateful to have brothers and sisters from my community come and say, Daniel, we just come to worship with you. And because when people come to worship, they're not looking to me and for me. They're just looking for themselves and for their God and Creator. So let actually think local. And I think that's important. And I think you and I need to talk a little bit more about what the power of locality, the local, in the global economy. And not only that, in the global politics. You know, that's important. Yeah, and I know the time is up. It's 33 after, so we already 3 minutes overboard. But I just want to say, Alan, it has been a great time to share with you. You're a good man. You not only that, your desire to connect people is sincere. And I think even if you, I think in my language, I'm saying Christ is in you. I think there is something about you that shows the nature of God and Christ in the spirit. And I say, continue, keep it up. And you and your wife continue, and your family just keep on doing the very best. And know you have a brother. If there is ever any problem in your home and family, I'm coming, and I'm there with you. We are all connected.
I'll be calling. But you know what? I've really enjoyed this connection with you, Brother Daniel. A great connection we had with this chat. Love it, and look forward to seeing you next week.
See you next week, and so long for now. Blessings.